So this video is going to be primarily about purpose, and this video is going to be about how, I guess, to find purpose in life and what that looks like. And to preference, I don't have it figured out. I can just tell you what I'm trying to do and what the Bible is calling us to do. And I'm going to use my phone, my Bible, and resources to help back up what I'm saying. And and I also want to talk about what things can derail us from our purpose and what things can prohibit us from our purpose. But yeah, so let's get into it and let's talk about what does the Bible say about us finding purpose? What does the Bible say about us, chasing our purpose, or how do you find your purpose, X, Y, Z? So the Bible talks about purpose in a couple different instances. And the thing I have here in my notes is, number one, our purpose begins with God, right? So our purpose begins with God. Everything should begin with God. And we see in Colossians 1:16, it says, "For in him all things were created, things in heaven and on earth, visible and invisible. All things have been created through him and for him." And it says here as a note, we were made by God and for God. Purpose starts with knowing him. And something I can definitely say is, like, the closer you try to get to God, the closer you try to follow him, the more you put the kingdom first, you begin to find yourself, for one, you begin to find more peace, and you begin to find more calm in your storm that you're in, because you're trying to, in a sense, not primarily focus on the situation that you're in, but just focusing more on God. And I can truly say, like, for me right now, I have so much stuff going on, and I just know for a fact the stresses that I have, the amount of stress that I'm dealing with, is because I'm not really putting God first, and I'm not really truly understanding that everything was made by God, and we were made by God, and we were made for him. Also, I think it's going to rain. So if this begins to rain, we will take this in the car, okay? If it begins to rain outside, we're going inside. It is starting to rain, so we're about to head inside of the vehicle and finish this video from inside the vehicle. All right, let's go inside the car. We'll just record from here, okay? Very sorry that there's a door in the way of this frame, but maybe it adds character to the video. So yeah, back to what I was saying though. Like, for me, when it says, like, our purpose begins with God, right? We were made by God and for God. We were made by him and for him, right? And purpose starts with knowing him. So I feel like as you're chasing your purpose in life and trying to figure out what it is you're meant to do, what it is that you think you are called to do, whatever the case is, I think it definitely it starts with first, like, humbling yourself and trying to know God and know that you were made for him first, and that chasing him, your heart will begin to change and you'll begin to desire different things. And then once you begin to really chase him and your desires begin to change, you'll find yourself getting into things or wanting to do things that are, I guess technically from God, because now your heart is beginning to change to be more like him. And you'll find yourself finding new things that you're maybe passionate about, or maybe you already knew what you were passionate about. Maybe it was sports or basketball, but as you chase that journey of maybe going to the NBA or whatever the case is, just know that, once you get to where you think you want to get to, know that it was God. And going through those ups and downs in that journey of getting to that place that you want to get to, the desire that you have on your heart for whatever it is, know that if you're trying to get there, it's best to do it with God. And the reason why I say that is because, as we know, life can throw curveballs. And as we're going through this journey called life and trying to get to whatever it is we're trying to get to, which is our purpose, there's going to be ups and downs. And facing those ups and downs alone is not a vibe. It's definitely not a vibe. It's very stressful. It's one of those things where it can be a lot. And you just definitely want to understand that, like, hey, like, you're not in this alone. And you want to understand that if this is for you, God will continue to give you the strength to do it. And that you just have to also show God that you want it, right? That you want whatever it is that you feel like you're called to do. Um, but yeah, I think that's the first thing. Just understanding that our purpose begins with God. Number two, we are called to glorify God. In Isaiah 43, verse 7, it says, "Everyone who is called by my name, whom I created for my glory, whom I formed and made." In essence, what it's really saying is that your life's ultimate purpose is to glorify God in all that you do. So for me, it's like, I love videography, I love film, I love editing, I love content creation, I love all these things. And I can definitely say a struggle for me, being someone who loves like sports edits and all these other things and like cool clip videos. There's so many times, I promise you, like, I'm really wanting to use the newest Drake song, the newest XYZ song, because I'll hear it, through the grapevine. I'll hear some of these new songs on like Instagram, whatever the case is, and I'll be hearing them like, dang, if I use that song, the edit would go crazy. And I do struggle with that because there's times where I'm like, I know if I use this song, I can get a lot of attraction and attention because this song is popping right now. But at the same time, I know that, is that truly going to glorify God? And I have to sit with that, and I have to understand, like, is it worth it? Is the 100,000 views on that, 50,000 likes, the extra 10K followers, more money in my pocket, whatever the case is it really worth it? No, it's simply not. And sometimes it's a hard pill to swallow. It does suck. I'm not gonna lie, if I'm being very vulnerable here, it actually sucks. Because there's so many times that I feel like, I have this talent to edit XYZ, and imagine if I could use the latest, song that's out, that's popping, that's catching so much traction. And I know that it wouldn't glorify God. And me promoting a song that's saying XYZ in it, even though it goes well with the video, maybe the clips and the edits I put together are tough, and it's like, dang, this is crazy. But I do know for a fact that it wouldn't glorify God in the way that I know it should. And I don't want to do that. I don't want to basically, I guess, be a sellout, if that makes sense, for God. I don't want to just be like, you know what, God, this song is popping, I got to do it, and you've made me very good at editing and XYZ. Please forgive me, but like, I got to do it, type of thing. And I don't want to be that type of son to him, and I want to try to put the kingdom first as much as I can. And I'm not saying I'm perfect. There may be a time where maybe I do use a song that's not the best choice. But trying to keep God first and understand that, we're made to glorify him, it does help you navigate. And it helps also raise your, like, that spirit of discernment, right? You're able to discern, is this a good thing to use? Is this a good idea? Should I go into this job? Should I do this? Should I do that? Right? Because your mind is on Christ. Your mind is on God. And you're now thinking in a way that you have like a filter. The godly filter is what I would call it. And that godly filter helps you filter through, friend groups and people you should hang around, people you shouldn't, places you should be, places you shouldn't, work that you should get into, work that you shouldn't get into, XYZ. And I'm not saying all of it's perfect, because this is a fallen world and everything at this point has been tainted. And you're going to be in spaces where it's not the most holiest place. And that's real. And that shouldn't deter you from working there, XYZ. But, having that spirit of discernment and XYZ definitely helps navigate those decisions and navigate these different things that we face in life. But yeah, that's the second thing. And number three, we are created for good works, right? So in Ephesians 2, verse 10, it says, "For we are God's handiwork, created in Christ Jesus to do good works, which God prepared in advance for us to do." And basically what that means is that God has designed you uniquely and given you specific tasks and callings. With that being said, it's like, you got to realize, like, yeah, it's real. Like, everyone has like a calling in their life. And everyone is important. Everyone has a specific thing that they're called to do. And again, it goes back to just like truly trying to follow God. Are you trying to follow him for your own gain, or are you just trying to follow him because you know that, saying he's the one who made you, and it's the least you can do is try to follow him and follow his commands and what he calls us to do, right? Um, but just knowing that you are uniquely made and you are given tasks and callings is huge, because you have to realize that you are uniquely made, but you also are uniquely made um, for good works, right? And to do good things. And you are called to do the will of God. And actually, I have one more thing I want to say. This is the last thing, actually, for real. Uh, and the last thing I want to say is that your purpose is part of God's bigger story. Okay? So your purpose is actually part of God's bigger story. And that goes back again to what I said earlier. We truly have to humble ourselves and not think that our story is the story. You get what I'm saying? Because sometimes we get so caught up in like, God, I want to be this. I want to da 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 da. But what does God want? What is his story that he's trying to show us? What is God trying to show you? Because if we're looking at it from the bigger picture, he created us, right? If he created us, then he must there's something he has going on. And I think with the culture that we're in now, it's where people kind of want that notoriety, that fame, that acknowledgement, XYZ. We get so caught up in ourselves and not realize, like, bro, what is God's story? Like, what does he want? You know what I mean? Like, what does he want us? What is he trying to show us through us, if that makes sense? Like, we're a part of the story that he's telling, not the other way around. He's not a part of the story that we're telling. That's not the case. We're a part of the story that he's telling us, right? And it's a bigger picture than that, right? It's a bigger picture than us. We have to humble ourselves. I think that's one of the hardest things to do. So again, your purpose is part of God's bigger story. So in Romans 8, verse 28, it says, "And we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love him, who have been called according to his purpose." His purpose, not our purpose, his purpose. His purpose comes first. Like, that just hit me just now too. But like, his purpose comes first. Like, his purpose is priority. The kingdom is priority. And he will place you where you need to be according to his purpose, right? And a note here, it says, even hardships can be used by God to shape you and guide your steps. So even the times where, even for me right now, like, I'm like, bro, I don't want to be doing this. Like, even all that is being used to guide my steps. What if this morning, the thing that set me off a little bit at work, I don't know, maybe it pushed me to actually put my faith into works. Maybe it pushed me to actually use what I feel as though I have a gift of, which is like videography, whatever, and I guess I could say public speaking. What if this is something that pushed me, that hardship this morning, to do what God is calling me to do? And I guess only time will tell. I guess literally only time will tell. So I don't know. But I know one thing. I'm just literally out here putting my faith into works, man. And I pray that me just being as vulnerable as I can and just talking through you guys, maybe you feel as though you learned something, or maybe you didn't. Maybe you feel as though more so that there's somebody else out here struggling like you and trying to figure out life. And they're willing to share my ups and downs and how I try to navigate it through the word and through what I feel God is telling me. And hopefully that is something that you took away from it. And if not that, maybe you just enjoyed the video. I don't know. But thank you guys for watching this. And I pray that you guys just pray for me as I continue on this journey. And I will be praying for you as you continue on your journey. Again, my name is Christian, and I am just someone trying to be a disciple. And trying to put as much faith into what God has called me to do and trying to do the best I can. And that's it. And I hope that I don't sound sad. I am a little just kind of like, things happen today. But no, I am in expectation for sure. And I hope you guys are too. For whatever it is that you're looking for, be in expectation. And again, put your faith into God and allow Him to guide you and allow Him to lead you. Thank you for watching. And yeah, comment, like, subscribe. And I will see you guys in the next video. All right, God, we did it. Okay, I did it. I did a video. I tried to do something that I was scared to do, and here we are. So let me go ahead and turn this off. And here we go.
Da primeira vez que eu te vi, menina, meu coração pulou pra boca. Da primeira vez que eu te vi, menina,